Huge news for all dinar holders. Redemption starts suddenly. IQD News today. Iraqi Dinar with the intro of your channel RV News. Welcome back to RV News, your trusted source for all the latest updates on the Iraqi Dinar, the Vietnamese dong, and the global currency reset. If you're holding on to your dinar notes, today's report is one you absolutely cannot afford to miss. Something massive just unfolded, a sudden development that has sent shockwaves across the entire currency revaluation community. That's right, redemption has officially started, and many dinar holders are waking up to the reality that their long wait may finally be over. We've got breaking intel, real-time reactions from financial insiders, and live confirmations that suggest the IQD redemption window has unexpectedly opened in select locations, and Tier 4B may be on the verge of going fully active. Buckle up, folks. This is not a drill. This is the moment we've all been preparing for. Over the past few months, we've heard numerous whispers about movement behind the scenes, NDA packages being distributed, back-end systems being tested, and global redemption centers preparing for what's being described as the largest financial transition in modern history. But up until now, it's all been speculation, secondhand sources, and cautious optimism. That changed in the last 48 hours. Multiple credible sources have now confirmed that sudden activity has erupted in specific banking channels tied to the IQD, and high-level contacts within major U.S. financial institutions are stating, off the record, that early redemptions have indeed begun, quietly, and without any public announcement. According to 3 separate confirmations, some private currency holders, believed to be part of the early tranches of Tier 4B, were contacted late last night by designated redemption teams and were asked to appear at secure exchange locations within 24 hours. These aren't your typical bank branches, but specially prepared facilities with upgraded security protocols and biometric verification systems in place. Once there, individuals reportedly signed non-disclosure agreements and were taken through a structured exchange process with rates that far exceeded the market value of the IQD. Some even received their funds immediately into newly created digital wallets tied to the quantum financial system. Let's pause and consider the significance of that for a moment. For years, the revaluation community has operated under the assumption that this process would begin quietly, behind the scenes, with only a select group of vetted individuals receiving early access, but many questioned whether such a quiet rollout could truly occur in today's information-driven world. Well, according to everything we've learned in the last day, not only is it happening, it's happening now, and with lightning speed. What's even more astonishing is that this is taking place in multiple regions simultaneously, including the U.S., Europe, and select areas in the Middle East and Iraq itself. Sudden activity was observed at several financial institutions this morning. Local reports claim that certain banks temporarily closed their doors while internal systems were recalibrated. At the same time, a handful of high-profile political and economic leaders were seen entering government buildings for closed-door emergency meetings. The state-run news agencies are being tight-lipped, but citizen journalism and leaked footage have provided compelling evidence that major shifts are underway. Some ATMs were taken offline for technical maintenance, while others displayed new interface languages and currency denomination options, which is often a strong indication that a rate update is pending. Meanwhile, in the United States, several dinar holders have reported receiving strange phone calls from unfamiliar numbers, some from 800 prefixes, others listed as private. When answered, callers were reportedly asked a series of verification questions, including whether the individual had physical IQD notes, where they were purchased, and whether the individual was prepared to exchange within a 24 to 48-hour window. These calls, while unconfirmed by any bank publicly, line up with patterns we've seen in the pre-rollout phase of other major financial transitions. It's also worth noting that several well-known Tier 4B sources have gone completely silent in the last 24 hours, a telltale sign that they may be under NDA following their own exchange appointments. What's fueling this sudden activation? Based on our research and high-level communications, it appears that a recent emergency meeting between IMF officials and representatives from Iraq's central bank catalyzed the push. According to sources close to the matter, the IMF gave the green light for Iraq to proceed with a controlled redemption of the IQD under very specific conditions. The goal, we're told, is to prevent financial chaos and ensure that liquidity injections are managed properly on a global scale. Iraq's economic metrics have hit key targets, including increased oil exports, controlled inflation, and stabilization of foreign reserves, making them eligible for re-entry into the international financial system with a tradable and revalued currency. One major development that cannot be overlooked is the recent statement made, albeit indirectly, by a senior Treasury official in the United States, speaking at a closed-door economic policy roundtable. This official reportedly hinted that major revaluation mechanisms were underway globally, and that U.S. banking systems had been quietly upgraded to accommodate new currencies and asset-backed financial instruments. Although no currencies were named explicitly, insiders immediately recognized this as a reference to the IQD and other speculative currencies. Waiting in the wings for revaluation, we're also seeing an increased presence of military or federal agents around known redemption centers. Some dinar holders who've driven past former test sites now claim that they are visibly active, with armored vehicles, biometric scanners being installed, and discreet but undeniable security enhancements in place. In some cases, adjacent buildings that were previously vacant have suddenly been occupied by teams wearing unmarked uniforms, possibly representatives of agencies tasked with overseeing secure financial transitions. So what does all this mean for everyday IQD holders like you? It means the window is finally opening, and perhaps faster than any of us anticipated. If you're part of Tier for B, or if you've received communication about your potential exchange, it's absolutely essential that you stay alert, remain organized, and be ready to move at a moment's notice. Now is the time to double-check your paperwork, secure your currency in a safe place, and ensure you have copies of your purchase receipts and identification. Remember, the process will likely move quickly, and the banks may not issue wide public notifications until the majority of Tier for B redemptions are complete. Also critical to note is the role of contract rates in this unfolding event. Several sources have confirmed that individuals who've exchanged in the past 24 hours received a much higher rate than what is listed on Forex or central bank listings. These so-called contract rates are believed to be pre-negotiated redemption values for those who meet certain criteria, including long-term project funding commitments and participation in humanitarian efforts. If you're planning to exchange at one of these higher rates, be prepared to present a simple outline of your intentions and demonstrate that you're committed to using your newfound wealth responsibly. To further complicate things, there are conflicting reports about how long this initial redemption window will remain open. Some insiders suggest that Tier for B will have approximately 10 days to complete exchanges at the special contract rates, after which the public rate will be published and made accessible to everyone else, albeit at a much lower valuation. Others claim the window may be even shorter, depending on geopolitical developments, security considerations, and the pace at which the redemption centers process appointments. In light of these developments, we urge all dinar holders to proceed with calm urgency. Don't panic, but don't delay either. The time for passive waiting is over. We are now entering the action phase of the revaluation, and every moment counts. Make sure your phone is fully charged, your documents are in order, and you're mentally and emotionally prepared to participate in this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Double-check that your financial institution of choice is participating in redemption operations and has access to the quantum financial system. Some holders have already received digital certificates of exchange tied to blockchain-based secure storage accounts, another sign that the new financial era is unfolding. Right before our eyes. To those who are still skeptical, we understand. This journey has been long, filled with ups and downs, false starts, and plenty of disinformation. But this time, the pieces are falling into place with a clarity and intensity that can no longer be dismissed as rumor. The IMF, the World Bank, the U.S. Treasury, and Iraq's own financial leadership are all moving in sync. Banks have upgraded their back-end systems, and redemption centers are operational. Currency holders are being called in. The question isn't whether it's happening. The question is, are you ready? We'll continue to bring you minute-by-minute upgrades as the situation evolves. Our sources are monitoring redemption center activity across multiple regions, and we are working with trusted insiders to verify every piece of intel before we report it to you. This is a P.